Hello everyone, it's the Kid of Games here. Welcome back to another Brawl Stars video. Today I'm just going to be showing you 3 of my personal favorite builds for Karl, Shelly and Rico. And while doing that, I'm going to be playing some matches on the way. So guys, before we get into knowing what the builds are, be sure to like and subscribe for more awesome content. And I'll be uploading a Road to 16k video as soon as I can after this video. So guys, let's start off with Rico. So Rico has one gadget and 2 star powers. So his gadget is called okay, I forgot the name guys, but still he has a gadget. And okay, it was called multi-ball launcher. So what multi-ball launcher does is when Rico activates it, he shoots out a lot of balls that bounce off everywhere, and it doesn't correspond to any of his star powers. In my opinion, this gadget kind of helps when it's for close calls, and it kind of helps sometimes, but mostly it's not that usable. But I prefer to use it anyway because it's the only gadget Rico has. So guys, so we're moving on to star powers. There's 2 star powers we can have, and first off we have Super Bouncy. What Super Bouncy does is it will make the bounce shots supercharged, and it'll give them 150 extra damage along with the usual amount. So I don't really think this is that much of a good upgrade because you don't really use it that much. So it doesn't really give that much good quality. Like for example, Robo Retreat, which is the star power we're moving on to. So guys, what Robo Retreat does is when Rico falls under 15% health, Rico can move about 34% faster. Yeah, 34% faster, which is a huge upgrade. And after all, you are able to dodge and weave shots easily. And you're even able to get some good hits on people easily as well. But the trick is that you're going to be on very low health, because 15% is somewhere like to 1500 health out of Rico's normal health. Although it is very useful, that's the only downside to it. And you need to really be careful because anything can just make you die. So in my opinion, I do believe Robo Retreat is the ideal star power, but I still think that in some cases Super Bouncy can be kind of useful, but it doesn't even correspond to his gadget, only with the super. It only corresponds with the super, so it doesn't really give that much value instantly. So that's the problem with Super Bouncy, is that you can't really bounce that many shots on open maps like Purple Paradise. So Robo Retreat is still the ideal star power that you'd probably take. So guys, moving on to Karl. First off, he has 2 gadgets and 2 star powers. So his first gadget is called Heat Ejector. Now what Heat Ejector does is Karl drops rocks underneath him, and it just lasts for a couple of seconds, but not much then. So it's not really that much viable unless if you're like trying to escape something, or if someone's on your tail and still relentlessly following you. I don't really know any other ways apart from that where you can use Heat Ejector that much. But in this next star power, gadget, it's Flying Hook, the one which I based my first video on when it first released. So what Flying Hook does, lots of my OG fans know what this guy does, and anyway, lots of people know already. But Flying Hook basically makes Karl just fly out there. So Karl uses his hook to get out of sticky situations, which can even make him escape such stuff. So basically, I don't really know if you can compare both the gadgets. I still really think that Flying Hook is the better star one, because it's not gonna be that viable. That's the problem. Most of the gadgets and star powers need to be very viable in situations, but like Heat Ejector, you can't really do that much with it. Like if someone's relentlessly chasing your tail like a Primo or a Rosa, it doesn't give that much viability. But if someone is chasing you like an Edgar, you can actually escape them easily, because you are going to be able to do more. Oh boy. So basically the point is, you need to be able to have viable points. Anyways, moving on to star powers. I believe there are 2 star powers for Karl. First one is I actually don't really use the first star power that much, so I don't really remember its name. But it was called something, I don't know. Anyway, I know what it does though. Basically, you can make Karl's hook go a bit faster with the star power. So it's not really that much viable anyway, because you're not doing much with the hook anyway. And his second star power is called Protective Pirouette. So when Karl uses his super, there will be a damage reduction for his super, which is around 80% damage reduction. That is very close to Daryl's super reduction when he has his Steel Hoops star power. And it is really viable in some situations, like for example, an Edgar's chasing your tail and you almost kill him with your super. Well, he can also almost kill you, but the problem is, so basically it'll be more viable, just like how Robo Retreat, Rico and stuff. So in my opinion, the best build for Karl has to be his Flying Hook gadget along with his Protective Pirouette star power. Moving on to Shelly. By the way, guys, I'm losing a lot of trophies making this video. Anyways, moving on to Shelly. Shelly has 2 gadgets, 2 star powers, just like Karl. And her first gadget is called Fast Forward, where Shelly dashes, skipping a few steps, and it's just viable at some point. Anyway, it's a pretty good gadget. It's not really exactly too useful sometimes because it can be interrupted by walls and stuff. So that's that gadget. Next up, we have clay pigeons. That's her next gadget. So clay pigeons, what clay pigeons do is very simple in essence. It makes Shelly able to, do stuff. I'm kidding. Anyways, guys, what it does is it makes Shelly's attack a little more further. It makes it go a little bit further, which is pretty good sometimes. But yeah, it's also not that viable like the star power for Rico and stuff. So it is pretty useful in some occasions where you want to hit like a far away target like a Rico or a Cold, trying to keep that distance from you. But I don't know if it's that much viable as Fast Forward, because you can at least escape situations, and you can even, if you're in a bush, you can just dash up to someone and super them in the face. And in my opinion, that is pretty funny. So that's kind of my opinion. So for gadgets, I still think that her first gadget is better than her second gadget. So if you do have any opinion differences, just tell me in the comments. It's fine. So guys, moving on to Shelly's star powers. Shelly has 2 star powers. One is Shell Shock, and it's very hard to pronounce, that's for sure. So Shelly has 2 star powers. One is Shell Shock and the other one is Bandaid. So what Shell Shock does is basically it makes Shelly do damage, do slow people, I suppose. So it is very viable if someone's trying to escape you, or if someone is trying to escape you and you super them, they're going to be a little bit slower for some time. So it is like viable in some points, but it is kind of viable. Although when you do a super, it is kind of nice that you're gonna get that stuff. But it is actually very viable. It is the star power I like to use a lot. when someone is on your tail or something, you can slow them down with it. But then it is actually viable. I'm just lying. It's pretty good. So the other star power Shelly has is Bandaid, and lots of people know that this was a very broken star power when it was first released, but it's been nerfed and it's now completely fine. What Bandaid does is it gives Shelly a bar that takes about 15 seconds to fully charge up. So what this does is when Shelly reaches to another 15% health, it'll heal her to back up to 170. It'll heal 170 health to Shelly. So it is viable as well. So yeah, actually it does 180 now that I just saw that. It is viable. I know it's viable. It's actually pretty viable because lots of people are probably going to be chasing you. So it is pretty good. I rather actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I might even start using Bandaid a lot more. Because I'm actually underrating Bandaid a bit. Because it can really save you from a lot of close calls. Like I did with that Poco from that. So it is kind of viable, but I'd still think about using it. But it is, like I said, I have no idea because I normally like to switch between star powers, and the one I was using for this recording was Shell Shock. So I think I might actually say that Shelly's best build, it's gonna have to be Shell Shock, and no, it's not. It's gonna be her fast forward gadget along with Bandaid, because Bandaid is very viable now that I'm seeing it in this match. Against the stick, it is very viable. But the problem is, I am very sad that it takes a very long time for this to even work. But it is, like I said, viable. I mean, now that I'm seeing it like this, I think this is better than Shell Shock, which was the star power I was using. So yeah. Although slow is kind of good, but I'd still prefer to use Bandaid. So yeah, I think that's Shelly's best build, and we also won that game. Nice. So guys, that is the best build for 3 of my favorite brawlers that I just lost a lot of trophies with. After all, Shelly is Bandaid and fast forward. For Karl, it is flying hook and protective pirouette, and also it was power throw. And Rico is multi-ball launcher and Robo Retreat. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this kind of helped you if you have any of these brawlers at full maxed out. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.